Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again. This is episode 8. Basically, uh, titled this one, It's Been 10 Seconds, and why haven't you got back to me yet, right? So I'm having really good days here lately. Been really good mentally. I think I've had one day where maybe I was a little off. Ooh, look at there, a little bit of curl. Anyway, but really the rest of the time been good there. It's really been physically health wise that I've not been doing well. I've either been tired or some depression might have kicked in, but I took it out on my body physically. In other words, I slept. And that, so I really didn't have bad mental days per se. But I'm going to tell you a couple of little things. One, this past weekend, my youngest came over and spent a day with me, basically. It was just a wonderful time. And I forgot we hadn't been together in over 2 years, and I just forgot how much fun we have together when we're together, and just the ribbing and the teasing and all the laughs that we have and the good conversations. So it was enjoyable, and that's of course been very uplifting. The fact that I had invited all three of my girls to come, and one of them had previously scheduled something, and the other one, we are. I don't know where we're at. She has come a long way. So have I think. We're probably this far apart when I want us to be this far apart. But everything takes a little time with each other, and that's okay. That's okay. But we're getting there. And I think that the positive that I'm seeing with my youngest will bleed into the others. My oldest and I, we're texting once a week now, which is wonderful because we weren't talking at all at one point. So that's really, of course, helped. It's been one of my major things I think that affects me, is not having those relationships. That all being said, I was in the shower and was thinking about doing another video. And as I was trying to figure, something, because I've been in such a good mood, it's kind of like, well, do I go do videos on mental illness when I'm in good moods? And I thought, you know what? I am. And what I'm going to talk about today, because I'm sure that there are tons of us out there that do this as well. You can be having the most fantastic day ever. And what happens with me anyway is I get this really... let's say excitement over something. Maybe I got a piece of letter in the mail and it was exciting news, or I got a call that was about something that was semi-important. And so I want to share that out, and I want to share it out like immediately, right? So if I call, for example, if I call Sarah and Anna and she doesn't pick up, which she's at work, right? But if I call Sarah and she's at work and can't pick up, then for me, that can be like somewhat, of a downer, if you will. And then, hi, Pink Girl. Thanks for stopping by and watching live. Just to let you know, these go about 20 minutes, so there's only about 15 minutes to go. And I just basically get on here and talk to everybody and let them know how things are going. So today I'm going to be talking about... my biggest thing is the reply to a phone call. So what happens is that, like I said, I have this exciting news, right? And I want to share it out. I want to talk to people about it. I want to get it out. Well, I call Sarah, I call Kenny, I call Norris. I start calling on down the list. And hi, Spitfire. This is my little boy, Spitfire. He has... look at that camera. Oh, he's a 5-year-old. I rescued him out of a dumpster. Somebody threw him away when he was newborn. I guess he was a stray. And I rescued him out of there, and he's been my baby boy ever since. And he loves me, and I love him, Well, anyway, back to it. So what happens is that no matter what kind of great day I'm having, no matter what kind of great mood that I'm in, I can tell you that a disappointment level hits when I have this news that I want to share. But it also happens to me when, and this may happen to you sometimes as well, where you sort of, and I always do this, the blinders on, but you sort of have an idea in your mind of how things are going to go. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna call, somebody, and I'm going to tell them this exciting news. And then when they don't answer and you can't tell them, then all of a sudden you're going, oh, crap. Well, okay, I'll call so and so, and then you call them and they don't answer, and you can't talk to them. Then you're like, okay, crap. Eventually you get to a point where you're like, well, I guess nobody cares about my good news, right? And it can start down that bad path. And what we have to realize, and I always tell you this, is I encompass myself in with everybody that's got mental issues, because I think that it's good to get a base to understand that we're all a part of a bigger group. And again, that's one of the things I think that happens with mental illness in this country, especially, and in this day and age, it is just brushed off. Well, that person's just crazy, or that person's this, or that person's that. And Pin Girl, I'll tell you what you can do. I've got videos on here going backwards, all the way back to video 1. Feel free to watch them. And then offline, if you want to contact me, I'm on Facebook, Douglas Clark II. There's a picture of me I'm wearing a Redskins shirt, holding a Redskins title belt. And I'm out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Feel free to find me, and we can talk all online on Facebook, Messenger, or whatever. And I'll be glad to tell you the story. I can tell you this, that talking about myself, my mental illness, my mental problems, the things that I've went through, has really been a great therapy for me. So, I'm more than glad to share the story. And if you watch previous videos, you'll start to contemplate a lot of it together. I guarantee you. So going back to the wanting to share information and I mean, and this does happen. You can be in a great mood, and it can be a silly thing. And I will check out your channel and do that. I appreciate that. What I will do, though, is that it can be as silly as going out here, getting in the car, and going out of the driveway. And I think we're going to turn right, and we turn left, and I'm like, okay, whoa, why are we going this direction? And you see what I mean? My brow, the whole, why are we going this direction? Because it's not what I did. And oh, wonderful! Which group did you discover me in? I'd like to know. And so then you sit and you say to yourself, these are such, remember how small things become mountains, right? That's what I'm saying is that we get so antsy. And so a lot of times, even when I'm texting somebody, whether it be Facebook Messenger or text, if I text, I'm like literally sitting there going, okay, this person's going to get back to me, right away, right? And then after 10 seconds, please do, Pink. And then also, like I said, let me know what group you discovered me in, because I'd like to know, because that's a good route for me to look at and post more stuff. But so what happens is that, and if you're like me, it can put you in a downer mood. And you don't, it's not something that you're planning, and it's not like, oh, I absolutely, it's a slow roll, maybe a slow roll going down the hill. And so, like I said, I go out, get in the car, and Sarah goes to turn right, and I think we're going to go left, or left and go right. And all of a sudden I'm questioning that. Why is it this way? And, on Reddit, fantastic. Yeah, I have joined bipolar, Reddit, mental illness Reddit, anxiety, a bunch of subreddits, and that specifically for this purpose. So that purpose, and I really appreciate that you're telling me that. That's good feedback. Good to know. And I definitely will get and check with you, Pink, on your stuff. So yeah, just make sure that I have that info. So when we're going down these paths, like I said, the biggest thing is how do we keep the good stuff in the cart with us, if you will, and let the small little things roll off. Well, mental health buddies. Okay, great, thank you. So here's one that I was thinking about this as far as how do we let it roll off? Well, first things first, you have to realize that most people don't do immediate responses. They got other things going on. Maybe the biggest thing is they're driving, and you don't want people texting and driving, right? So you got to give them that leeway of time, and that. But it always reminds me when I get like that and everything, and you don't realize how stuff affects you from movies. But in Dark Knight Returns, in the Dark Knight, not Dark Knight, Dark Knight, when Joker's talking to Harvey Dent, he says, if it's all a part of the plan, nobody freaks out. Well, that's just it. In our minds, and I say our again, in our minds, this is not going according to plan, right? So if it's not going to plan, we start to do that, that rabid dog shake, that I got to do something. What's going on here? I don't understand, and we sometimes just have to take a little half step back, just a little one, and say, okay, maybe this person today is busy. Maybe they're driving. And again, we don't want to texting and driving. So sometimes you just have to back up a half step. And I will tell you that for me, even here in the last week, I got a hold of a friend, and I hadn't talked to her in, 6-7 months. And I texted her and was like, hey, I hadn't heard from you. I've left you messages, so on and so forth. And then I found out some pretty devastating news in her life. And made sense why I hadn't heard from her, right? But in the comments when I sent it to her, I said, I'm very worried because I hadn't heard from you that I had done something wrong. And again, that goes back up here in what's in here, right? That I was thinking I had done something wrong. And I'm very cautious about that. I do that a lot, where I definitely think that because of the way I am, that I do cause issues with people, just like I told you I did with my own children. And so I do constantly worry about that without overstressing about it. And so then what I'm saying is that over time, I've just had to learn that, I do get anxious, and I know I get anxious and I do pace a little bit, and I do worry a little bit more. But you know what? I can't do that anymore. And the reason why is because really when you get down to it, it's me really being selfish, because it's like I am the center of the universe at that point, right? And that's not the truth at all, ever. But it's just something that I have to do, and you're going to have to do as well. And don't get me wrong, if you ever are at a point where you're like, I'm contemplating suicide and I want to kill myself, that is an immediate, you need to call 911 if you can't remember the suicide prevention hotline number. Okay. And if you don't have the suicide prevention hotline number in your phone, put it in your phone, and, and put, 911 plus or whatever you have to do to make it like the most immediate phone call you can make. Okay. Because if you are really, 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 really bad and you need to talk to somebody right away, calling that or calling a 911 operator, they're going to help you. I think that's another big fear people have when we have mental illness, that if we call 911 and say, hey, I'm thinking about committing suicide, that, we're going to get thrown in jail and we're bad people, and they're going to come after us and things like that. And that is absolutely not true. That is absolutely not true. It's not. It's our way of crying out for help, and we need the help. Okay, we do. And there are times when we can't get a hold of anybody, any of our support system, any of our rocks that we need to rely on, and we need to talk to a human. And that's why I've always offered on here. I would love, and I'm still working on it, I'd love to get a cellular company to provide phones for people like me. They're emergency use phones where somebody can call the number, and I could have it listed down here, and they could call that number 24/7 if they ever need to talk to somebody. Because it's one thing to talk to just somebody, right? It's really another to talk to somebody who's went through it or is going through it with you. And I really need to stress that, because I may not have your exact circumstance, and I may not have went through your exact scenario, okay? But I do get it because I suffer from basically the same things that you do, and basically want to be there to help. And you know what? If it's beyond and above me, I'm sure I can find somebody who can help, in that specific moment. But if all you're really needing is just that human contact voice, that's very important. And so that's why I'm going to tell you that the stress that I'm going to give you is that if it's been longer than 10 seconds and nobody's gotten back to you and you're like, hey, I just texted you, it's been 10 seconds. If you're that over the top and you're at the edge and you really, really need to call somebody, please do not do anything other than call 911 and you tell that dispatch operator, I have mental problems and I just need to talk to somebody. That is what they are trained to do. Okay. And you're not going to go to jail. You're not going to get arrested. Nothing is going to happen, but somebody is coming to help you. Okay. They'll send an officer out, but that officer is just there to talk to you, give you a support that you need at that time. Okay. So remember that the next time that you're on a high about something and you're trying to reach out and nobody's wanting to react with you. Okay. Because at the end of the day, there's always somebody there, okay? And like I said, if you reach out to me, if you're watching this and you want to subscribe, that's wonderful. Pink here actually subscribed with me, I think last week. This is the first video I've done since I did the one with Sarah and myself. And that's she's saying on here that that's how she came to know me. I do post on the mental health buddies on Reddit. I post all over Reddit on the mental health, the anxiety, the depression. I post these. But I also, like I told you, I have my personal Doug Clark II. I'm holding the title belt, the Redskin shirt. You can friend me. I will accept your friend request. You can get hooked with me on Messenger and just say, hey, I really appreciate it. And like I said, I've got people that, even if it's not you, maybe it's a friend of yours or somebody else. But you're going to find that we're a larger community than we know about because, again, mental health issues are swept under the rug and pushed down, and nobody wants to talk about it. And it's an epidemic. It really is in our country, and it's very sad. It's very sad because we lose people every day due to it. Okay. And speaking of, there you go. That's Miss Sarah Clark calling. So what I'm going to do here is, hey Sarah, hold on just one sec, okay? Okay. So I'm going to finish up the video here. And that, since she called, it's been 18 minutes, so that's close enough, right? Anyway, listen, guys, have a great day. And like I said, contact me, subscribe. That's wonderful. Comments below. Fantastic. Love them. Love the thumbs up. If you're going to thumbs down, that's fine too. I just find it a little weird that you thumbs down mental health issue things, but that's just me. I'm a little goofy that way. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and I will post up number 9 here really soon. I've got some ideas scrambling around in here, so I will talk to you later. Thanks for your time.